Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome to What's on Tap podcast. I am your host, Stefan.
I'm your host, Martin.
And today we're doing an Americana episode because we have two beers from America.
USA.
Maybe we should have saved this for closer to the beginning of November so we could have election results.
It's too polarized.
You know what we should do? We should do. I don't know what state Biden is actually representing.
I don't know.
We can look that up between now and then.
Yeah.
So we could have a Florida beer versus, I'm assuming some sort of New England beer. I'm not really sure what state he represents. But I want to say Vermont, but I'm totally wrong, probably. It's probably Massachusetts or one of those really white states up in the New England area. But today we have a Texas beer and an Arkansas beer. So it's a redneck showdown here.
Nice.
I don't know that we've had Martin House on the show before, but they do a lot of interesting beers. They're kind of mostly known for their dill pickle beers.
Ugh.
There's a Sweet Sue is the name of a pickle brand, and they do a Sweet Sue dill pickle beer. But they also do a thing called the Salty Lady. The Salty Lady is a gose, and they make about 1 billion different types of Salty Lady, usually dealing with some sort of southwestern flavor profile, such as prickly pear or tequila based, or some sort of version of that kind of thing. But what we have today is we have the Chamoy Salty Lady. And this should be quite an interesting beer. It comes in at 5.2% ABV. Are you familiar with what Chamoy is?
What's the ABV?
5.2.
5.2.
Right.
What's a chamoy?
So Chamoy is how do you describe this? So if you've seen drinks from, say, like a Mexico resort or a street cocktail of some sort, and there's this red like goo around the outside of the glass, or maybe there's a tinge of red around the outside. That's the Chamoy. So Chamoy is basically it's like salty, sweet, spicy, sour, all put together in like a weird flavor concoction. It's super popular in Mexico because it kind of covers all of your flavor bases at the same time.
Yeah.
So what you do is you add that to a gose. If you look at the can, so you can see the little red drippy looking thing along the top. That's what a chamoy would look like if you had it along the top of your bar glass, and it would just ooze down the side as some sort of a fruit gelatin kind of, not gelatin, gelée or syrupy kind of concoction that would drizzle down the side of your glass.
Wow.
I'll be honest with you, I do not know what to expect with this beer. It both excites me and scares me at the same time. So the color is
kind of orangey.
Yeah, it's orangish. Yeah. And the smell is it's like dry fruit kind of.
Sweet fruit candy.
Yeah, like chalky kind of fruit candy.
Yeah. All right.
Like almost like a sweet tart or a Smarties, or Sweden doesn't really make these kind of chalky fruit flavored things, but
I know what you mean. When you touch them, you get kind of a chalky residue on your fingers.
Could be, yeah, definitely.
Let's try
All
it.
right, cheers. So my brother asked me if I tried this yet, and I was like, not yet. And he's like, it's pretty salty. So I'm expecting this to be pretty interesting.
Huh. That is salty.
Oh my God. It does all of the things I just said.
That is very interesting.
It is. It is salty. It is a little spicy.
Yeah.
It is a little sweet. It tastes like a sports energy drink.
Yeah, it does.
It tastes like Gatorade almost. It's like a boozy Gatorade.
But more tangy.
Yeah. And like I said, and there's this weird chalky flavor that kind of like baby aspirin. Like orange flavored baby aspirin. That's in there as well. It's a wild one, I'll give you that.
It doesn't say any ingredients.
It does. Chamoy.
Yeah. Water, malts, hops, and chamoy.
Yeah, basically. Wow, that's a weird ass beer right there. It's kind of hard to describe. It's like I like it, but also don't like it at the same time.
Yeah.
I like the spiciness to it because it's kind of a really light spice, but it builds as you drink more, which is really pleasant.
Exactly. That has to be chili, right?
That's the chili part.
Yeah.
It's got the gose salty kind of, like I said, feels like a sports energy drink. Kind of like I'm getting my sodium and potassium replenished by drinking this beer.
It's definitely one of the saltier goses.
By far, like the saltiest gose I've ever had. It's so salty as saying bad things about my mom.
Oh, that is salty.
But then the one note I don't like is that weird chalky, dry flavor that's in there that just seems to be in contest with all of the other flavors in the beer.
I think it's quite fun.
100% fun.
I'm digging this more than I think the average drinker is.
I agree with you on that one. So on the fun level, 5 out of 5. It is a lot of fun. On the drinkability level, I'm going to give it a 3.5.
It's at least a 3.75. But I think we should have had chamoy on the rim of our glasses.
You know, we should have done this. We should have had some tagine. And then like dip, like, so take a little lime, and then rim the glass with lime, and then dip it in the tangine, which is this basically the base flavor for chamoy.
Okay.
So imagine you've had this before. I think I've served it for you before. It's a salty, sweet, sour, spicy combo.
Maybe.
That you just kind of like put all over. So what you would do with the sauce is, like you said, put it on the glasses. You also put over fruit to give the fruit a little more complexity. Works great with melon. Same thing with the chamoy watermelon and a little bit of that tangine on it, and it's just like, oh, it's so good.
Strong 3.75 on this one.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, so next up, we're going to revisit a classic we've had on the show a couple of years ago. It's the BDCS. And we tried the 2021, and we both give it quite high reviews. Yep. So my brother gave me 2 cans of this, and I've already had one. And I showed you the 2023, and you were like, ooh, gimme. And so I'm like, well, I can just do this on the show if you want.
Yeah.
That wasn't the original intent, but, you know, hey, here we are.
And for anyone who doesn't know acronyms as well as we do, this is the Ozark Brewing Company.
Yeah, so Ozark Beer Company out of, I want to say, Bentonville.
Classic Bentonville. Everyone knows Bentonville.
Well, they do, because that's where Walmart's based. And also Tyson Foods.
Right.
And it used to be JCPenney's until they went to the ground, but that's another story. But there's a lot of other companies out of Bentonville. It's a weird place. A lot of money, like crazy amounts of money. You can really see, like, in real time, gentrification reaching out over and decimating a community in many ways. But yeah, so this is a Imperial Milk Stout. It's bourbon barrel aged, and I don't think there's any adjuncts in it, but it comes up with a lot of, I want to say vanilla and coffee and chocolate flavors. It's one of the best milk stouts I've ever had. I think it's technically an Imperial Milk Stout. I'm just running off the top of my head.
But what does it stand for? I'm asking difficult questions now. I realize that.
You know, I honestly have no idea.
Bourbon Double Cream Stout.
There you go. That's not where our mind was going, but sure. So last time you gave this a 4.6.
And you gave it a 5.
I gave it a 5.
Maybe I was just stingy.
Oh, God, it smells so good.
It does smell very creamy and bourbony.
I don't think milk stout.
No.
Imperial Milk Stout. What is the ABV on this? Do we know?
10, 11, 12-ish.
Is it? Wow, that's super high for a milk stout.
Let's see. The latest version is 10.3.
10.3. That's for an Imperial Milk Stout. That's
That's
pretty
good.
high.
Yeah, good.
That's about as high as I've ever seen.
I think this is going to be really good.
There's so much bourbon on that
Cheers.
nose. It really just, it's crazy good. Yeah.
What's so fun about it is that it has a really heavy bourbon flavor, but it's reminiscent of old school high quality imperial stouts in the viscosity. It's on the thinner side, which reminds me of like Brooklyn Black Chocolate Stout back when it was in its heyday, in its glory days.
You know, honestly, when I think about it and I try this, I would like to try it side by side with a Bourbon County brand stout, just their base version, and a
Founders Kentucky KBS.
KBS, yeah.
Yep.
Because honestly, I if I tried them side by side, I don't know that the quality would be so different.
No. I think the KBS would lose on a too boozy bourbon and wood note. It would seem unbalanced.
Yeah.
Nowadays, the Goose Island Bourbon County Stout isn't as good as it used to be.
I agree with you on that.
But like in its heyday, 2012 was probably when it was fresh. Then that just blew everything out
I
of
would
the water.
say even within the first 3 years of AB InBev purchase, nowadays it's a little mass produced in a sad kind of way. But man, this is just so light. It's so sweet. It's got that incredible bourbon backbone on it.
Yeah.
Man, it's a real sipper. You really want to savor this one.
It's high quality. I think it could also be comparable to when AleSmith Speedway Stout Bourbon Edition was in its heyday, which that has also fallen off.
Yeah.
And when I say they've fallen off, I think they veered from their original OG styles. They've been trying to either become more pastry or more barrel aged or more modern, and
I wonder if it's a scaling process, because when I think about like 1050, and I used to love me some 1050, and then when 1050 hit the bourbon barrel aged version, I was like, wow, this just got even better.
Yes,
I don't even buy it anymore. It is just not the same beer. It's just the quality is just not as good as it used to be.
I buy it because it's at Systembolaget.
Yeah,
but we used to chase them.
Exactly.
That's not the case anymore.
Yeah, KBS. I mean, all of these beers we're talking about we used to chase.
Yes.
The only one we still kind of chase is Bourbon County brand stout.
Yeah.
That's only because they don't sell it Systembolaget
exactly
yet. I keep feeling that every year we're getting a little closer to that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like those breweries who just made these amazing, just real classic, simple bourbon barrel aged beers.
Yep.
They've scaled too much, and the quality isn't there like it used to be.
Another example is Deschutes Abyss.
Oh yeah.
You needed in the past you needed to trade for that shit, and now it's at Systembolaget shelves untouched because it's not as good anymore. But this is good. This is really
this
good.
is really, really good. So it really like harkens back to all of these, like I said, great moments of beerdom, of where you used to try things and be like, I mean, does it get any better than this? And the answer was usually no. And then time goes on and other things come in to fade to style, and pastry stouts are all the rave these days.
Yep.
But this still manages to bring you back to that simple concept of a very great like base beer with incredible bourbon barrel aged flavors.
Yes.
And you're just like, I don't need anything more than this right here.
No.
And I know that we've had this at Bottle Shares, and we always put it out early on because it would get lost in the crowd.
Yeah.
With all of the super high 15 adjunct, imperial pastry stouts.
And that's true, because this has some depth, and that depth usually gets lost at the end of a bottle share.
Oh, 100% it does. And that's what, like I said, that's why we kind of put it out early on so people can kind of appreciate it before it, excuse me, before it you gets lost in the crowd. And it's usually a crowd pleaser the couple of times we've had it in the past. So I keep hoping my brother will save a couple of cans for every year. Keep sending them to me because I enjoy the hell out of this beer, and I'll always
treasure it.
Hopefully, I'll always enjoy it every year it comes out. So yeah, what do you give it this year?
4.75. I really love it, but I've had enough 5s to know that. So if you're asking me what I'm missing, maybe I would need a tiny bit more bourbon and a tiny bit more body. I don't want it to be viscous like a pastry stout, but a little bit more body oomph.
I'm right there with you this year. It's like last year I gave it a 5, or last time I gave it a 5. This year it's solid 4.75.
But it's margins.
Yeah. We're really. It's like when you watch. I don't know if you watch Top Chef, but the Top Chef finale, they're literally grading by inches. You know, it's like centimeters of like. Well, this was slightly salted better than the other dish, but they're both really good. I think this is again, it's really good this year. It does not disappoint. I think 4.75 is smack where it is.
Totally reasonable rating.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what the range is for BDCS. I'm understanding that it's very regional, but if you're into beer trades or you're just kind of in Northwest Arkansas for some odd reason, because, you know, why not?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you be? I mean, you're lost and you ended up in the area. Definitely seek out some cans. It comes out once a year. It's seasonal. I think you'll be very happy with when you find it.
So this one would have been bought at the brewery?
Either at the brewery or at a local bottle shop. Okay. I'm not sure. I know that you can buy quite a few of their beers at local bottle shops. And I'm pretty sure I know where this one was purchased. So I can help you with your check-in later.
Nice.
Yeah, all right.
And the other one, the Chamoy Salty Lady, we don't know exactly, but it's probably bought in Texas.
I'm not sure. Again, this is one where I'm not really sure what their Martin House Brewing distribution is, but I'd be willing to bet that they have expanded into Arkansas as well, and it's probably the same place as the BDCS 2023. So, excuse me. I think they're both coming from the same place. So I can help you with that check-in if you want. But we'll wrap it up here. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. We've had a lot of fun with it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really good. So until you can find us online at What's on Tap Podcast, Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, and anywhere you find podcasts, you'll find us. So until next time,
keep drinking, you dum-dums.